No, sir, it's one of the enterprises. They're hailing us.
On screen.
Well, hello there.
You don't know what it's like in our universe. The Federation's
Well, hello there, and welcome back to a very exciting episode of Corbin Does Something. That's right, we have a little thing that I want to put into my Fiesta called a car multimedia player. This is one of those portable heads-up displays.
Gauge heads-up display? Check. 4-door preferences from home interface. Will do so.
Instead of having to get a whole new system, this is supposed to connect to your Bluetooth and do Android Auto. In Michigan, recently, I think sometime last year, they made it illegal to touch your phone while you're at a stoplight, which means if you're, adjusting your maps or your music, it's illegal.
You're going to jail.
It's a poor tax, tax on the poor.
And the problem is that it's a tax on the poor and on people who can't do math.
And so if you have one of these, it's perfectly fine while you're driving to dick around with it. No problem there. So having a tablet in your car is safer than having a phone. So basically, what this does is it allows me to have Android Auto. Another reason that I got it is I've been using my truck a lot more. It has Android Auto built into it, along with a backup camera. In my Fiesta, I don't have any of that. My Fiesta is very basic, and it'll cost me probably $700 to $1,000 to replace the radio system because the Fiesta is a weird design. It's very unique. I got it for about $35. It was on sale on Amazon. I don't know if it's good. There was 4.5 stars on it. I'll link it below, but let's go ahead and unbox it. This is a 7-inch. They had some that were 10 inches. My Fiesta's tiny, and where I want to put it, 10 inches would just be way too much.
That's what she said.
7 inches, a little bit bigger than my phone. So, let's see. I forgot to set up the overhead cam again, so you can't really see anything until I pull it out. But
that's what he
here
said.
Here is the unit itself. You can see my entire phone fits into that screen, and there's still a little bit of room, but it's roughly about the same size as my phone. I don't know if I'll use this mount. Let me see if it comes off. I really hope I don't have to use this mount because I have a perfect mount in the car where my phone goes, and it looks like I'll probably have to use this mount. So, and that's fine. I could probably still use the one where my phone goes. I have one of those CD player mounts since I don't use my CD player, and it works really well. Yeah, this is a basic unit here. It's got auxiliary input, AV input, USB. You can put an SD card in there, and then it uses, instead of USB-C or micro USB, it uses the cylinder plug-in. I mean, this isn't a bad mount. This is very plasticky, so we'll figure out how that is. Here's a pretty decently sized auxiliary. That's probably 6 feet or so, maybe more. And then here we have, this comes with a backup camera. I don't know if I'm going to use the backup camera. I have a hatchback, so hooking it up I think would be a little bit more complicated than it's worth. But I don't know why I took that tie off. But basically, you have this little, it's got LEDs around it so you can use it at night. You got your video plug-in. I think this goes to the rear blinker and this is just video. I don't think there's any microphone on it. And here is the power for it. Well, this is gonna suck. I need to plug my phone in. I knew I should have bought. I was at the store earlier and I saw for $5 a cigarette lighter expander, and I could have got that, but I didn't. And then this is for the backup camera. You plug it into the AV in, and then you got this long cord here which goes into the AVN. I don't know why there's a red cord on each side. I was hoping that this was USB, so I could test it in the house, but I guess I will have to test it in the car. So what I'll do is I'll go get that set up. I'll probably record the rest of this on my cell phone. I kind of have it halfway mounted here, so that way I can still see this screen. It's hanging off the edge here a little bit. It's such a pain. I can't, any of the mounts that I own, I've tried, I have like 5 of these different things, and none of them work well enough. It's a huge issue. If I can find one that can go right on here, it will go here, and then I'll just have my phone mounted below, because I won't really need to touch it at all. But I also ran into an issue. This is kind of an issue with my phone, so I have to look into that. Every time I connect my phone to both devices, the car and the tablet, it won't go through. So I had to use that auxiliary port to connect to it. Now, it kind of solves a problem that I always had with this car. Once every 3 months or so, I have to pull the fuse for the Bluetooth to reset it. So this going through the line or the aux cord actually kind of helps, because when it's not connected to Bluetooth, it defaults to the line in. So that's not a problem. The issue is I can't use my steering wheel to change the song because it's not connected to the Bluetooth. And even though it's on the Bluetooth, line in doesn't respond to those buttons. So that's a problem. But I'm going to go ahead and do a little bit of driving, see how everything interacts. I mean, you can see I hit that, hit start. It already started doing the loading. I do need to change this to nighttime. I can't stand that. Settings. So you can see this is pretty responsive too. It's supposed to be automatic, but it's not. Daytime maps don't bother me that much. I think they're a little bit easier to see at night, but it is kind of a blinding light, so it'll fuck my eyes a little bit. Yeah, so let me see how that works and see how everything goes. All right, I've been using this for a few days. Let's see, I got it Saturday. It's now Wednesday. This is honestly a really, really good deal. It doesn't have enough. So there's a few cons. One is there's no power button. There's clearly a slot for a power button, so you can't manually turn it off. And so if your car keeps your outlets on, it stays on. Obviously, you don't want this, running, staying on all the time. It'd be nice just to have a little button on the top, just to turn it off. Especially like you park your car, you run inside somewhere. You don't want people seeing a big screen in your car that they could steal at any moment. The mount on this, I love and hate. It's not super adjustable, but you can get some angles with it. This the sticky that they had on it actually held really well. I had only half the mount on the car, so that way I could still see my menu, and it held this thing down. Like, it wasn't going anywhere. And it peeled off real easy. My phone wouldn't go to both this and my car for Bluetooth sound. I read that could be an issue with this. It could be an issue with the phone. The problem is that Android Auto takes priority. So if you have it connected to Android Auto, it connects to the Android Auto for sound and nothing else. I've never had a problem like that in the past, but I've never tried to connect Android Auto and something else. So there's a problem with that. It would also try to redirect my calls to this. This is supposed to have a built-in speaker with a microphone. It does not. That doesn't help. It's supposed to have an FM transmitter. It does not. From this, so what I have to do is send a Bluetooth signal to this and then an aux cord into my car. I have to have everything on max volume so I can barely hear it. The max volume that I can get out of this is what I turn it down to when I am trying to find an address. You know, like when you're like, oh, I need to turn this down so I can see better. When you're in that mode, that's when that's the volume that I typically end up setting it to, is what the max volume is for this. Other than that, I had a few issues where all of a sudden the GPS would just go weird. It would just start redirecting me like crazy. I've had that in the past with Android Auto and with my phone, but not as much as I have with this. So I don't know if maybe I was just going into more areas where the GPS wasn't working right, or if this was affecting it somehow. It just seemed like an issue that I would run into once every few months. I ran into 3 or 4 times a day. One thing I really do like about this is, and my truck doesn't do this, when you pull up to a house, it shows the, just like your phone would, the image of the house, usually, or close to it. So you get a good idea of which one you're supposed to be looking at. I really like that. My truck doesn't do that. The screen on this is so much brighter and more vibrant than my truck. However, the blue lines that tells you to go on, when you're in dark mode, the roads are bluish gray. So sometimes it's a little confusing because you see a blue line and then a bluish gray line and you're like, wait, which way am I going? I had no way of testing the backup camera. It's supposed to be plugged into the reverse light. I don't plan on putting a backup camera in. It'd be nice, but I don't. In that car, it's not worth it. I really do like this. It makes things so much easier. The screen is super responsive and super unresponsive depending on the time. Because of the mount that I had, it was sticking really far away from me, so it was kind of a pain. I had to, go like this to get to it. Whereas I actually just got an adapter for this. I had to order a whole mount because it was cheaper than just buying this. But now I can put this where I want to put it. But yeah, I just stick this on here and I put it on that little ball mount in my CD player, and now it sits low. It'll be perfect.
That's a lie.
I really do like it, but the features in it were just lacking enough to where I wanted something more. I wanted to be able to stream through Bluetooth. I don't want an aux cord to connect to it. I wanted USB-C connections for $40. Actually, I think it was like 45. I know when I went through the return process, it said I was getting $51 back, so it's probably taxes. So let's say 40, 45. It's not bad, especially if you have an old car and you want to upgrade, but it doesn't have the FM transmitter. It doesn't allow you to do dual Bluetooth with your phone. It doesn't have a power button. There's just too many things in it that are lacking where I can't say I want to keep it. And I know that in 6 months, not even 6 months, in 2 months, I would go, I really need to upgrade this. So I decided to invest a little bit more money. I'm returning this one. And I picked up a new one. This is like a Hello Kitty or Hi Kitty, something like that. This one should have all the features I want.
That's a lie.
I don't know if it'll work. Just like this one, it's one of those mass-produced ones that just get rebranded. I found it for the right price. I want to say it was $79, and I had a 20% off coupon or something like that. So, it figures 60 bucks or so. So it's not much more. It comes with the camera.
That's a lie.
It has the dual Bluetooth.
It's a lie.
It's bigger. I didn't want to go bigger.
That's what she said.
But I couldn't find a 7-inch that had all those features.
That's what she said.
I had to get a 10-inch. So if you want to see a review on this, go ahead, hit me up in the comments. I will definitely get that out to you guys. As far as this goes, for $45 or so, it's a great device. It's a great device. It's a great upgrade. It's lacking. I'll be returning this. Would I buy it again? Obviously not, because I want more features. But should you buy it? I would. I mean, if it works, you know, I'll give it a 5 out of 10. I think for that price point, it hits everything that you could expect. But it did advertise things it didn't have. Basic, it's cheap, and for what it is, it's not bad. If I didn't have the option to still return it, I would keep it, and I'd probably be okay with it. Likely, I would find some way of substituting the sound. That's the biggest thing. If the sound worked fine, I would have got over all the other features. Even if it was through aux, if it was loud, I would have gotten over it. I would have kept this thing, guaranteed. Go ahead and buy one of these things if you want. I like it. I hope I like the next one. And I hope you liked this video. And if you did, like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell notification. I know I'm not eating food or anything. I'm kind of lame, but whatever. I think I just broke that. You like me yet?